it's okay.
The story behind I Love You, I'm Sorry, Gracie Abrams. There are breakup songs about anger. There are breakup songs about betrayal. And then there are songs that do something much harder. They admit that maybe you were part of the problem.
'Cause that's just the way life goes.
That is exactly what makes Gracie Abrams' I Love You, I'm Sorry so painful. Released in 2024 as part of her album The Secret of Us, the song sounds gentle and almost conversational.
And I'll make it known like I'm getting paid.
But underneath that softness is a story about love, regret, self-sabotage, and the uncomfortable realization that sometimes an apology doesn't fix what has already been broken. The song takes us back to a specific moment. Abrams sings about an August 2 years earlier, when she told someone the truth about how she felt. But the truth wasn't received the way she hoped. The other person went home, and suddenly something that had existed between them was no longer the same. That's what makes the opening so powerful. There is no dramatic explosion. No huge argument. Just distance. One person leaves, and the other is left behind with everything they wish they had said differently.
Out my window and watch the sunset on the lake.
The song feels like someone replaying that night over and over in their head. What if I had waited? What if I had said it differently? What if I hadn't made everything about myself? Those questions are never completely answered, and that's the point.
Someone to kill me.
One of the most interesting things about I Love You, I'm Sorry is that Gracie doesn't paint herself as the innocent victim. Instead, she looks directly at her own behavior. The narrator knows she has a habit of closing doors. She knows she can make situations about herself. And she knows that loving someone doesn't automatically mean you know how to love them correctly. That self-awareness gives the song its emotional weight. Because sometimes the hardest apology isn't, I'm sorry you hurt me. It's, I'm sorry for the ways I hurt you.
Just as sick as it sounds, I loved you first. I was a dick, it is what it is.
The song was written by Gracie Abrams alongside Aaron Dessner and Audrey Hobart, with Abrams and Dessner involved in its production. It appeared on The Secret of Us, released in June 2024. And musically, the production doesn't try to overpower the story. It stays intimate. The instrumentation gives her voice room to breathe, making the song feel almost like a private confession. Then comes the title itself. I love you, I'm sorry. 5 words that say almost everything. I love you means the feelings haven't completely disappeared. I'm sorry means she understands that love wasn't enough to prevent the damage. And putting those two statements together creates the contradiction at the center of the song. You can love somebody and still hurt them. You can miss somebody and still know that going back might be a mistake. You can regret what happened without being able to change it. That's why this isn't simply a song about wanting an ex back. It's about looking backward with enough maturity to recognize your own mistakes. And that makes the song relatable to anyone who has ever replayed an old relationship and thought, I wish I had handled that differently.
August ago, I told the truth, oh, but you did.
There is also an interesting connection between this song and one of Gracie Abrams' earlier songs, I Miss You, I'm Sorry. The titles alone immediately suggest a relationship between them. The earlier song came out in 2020, while I Love You, I'm Sorry arrived in 2024. 4 years separate the releases, but emotionally they feel like 2 chapters of the same story. The first feels closer to the pain of missing someone. The second feels more reflective. It's as though time has passed, the emotions have settled, and now the narrator can finally look back at what happened with a clearer understanding of her own role.
About me, I love you, I'm sorry.
It's not necessarily about getting another chance. It's about understanding the chance you already had. And perhaps that's why I Love You, I'm Sorry connected so strongly with listeners.
You're on a plane, going.
The song doesn't require you to have experienced the exact same story. Almost everyone has something they wish they could redo. A conversation, a relationship, a decision, a goodbye. Gracie turns that universal feeling into something quiet and deeply personal. The song doesn't make regret feel dramatic. It makes it feel ordinary, and somehow that makes it hurt even more. Because sometimes love doesn't end with hatred. Sometimes it ends with two people who still care about each other, but understand that something has changed. And sometimes all you can do is look back and say the words you wish you had known how to say sooner. I love you. I'm sorry. And that's the story behind one of Gracie Abrams' most emotionally revealing songs. A song about love, a song about regret, and most importantly, a song about learning to take responsibility for the part you played in your own heartbreak.